Welcome to this last part of the series where we try to explore how breath can be a secret to enhanced living. In this lecture, I will try to ascertain how yoga is nothing but engineering and the system that it works on is our own human system. And as any engineering knowledge tries to work with a system, it tries to make it more efficient, better performing, with improved performance, improved lifespan, making it healthy and all. Similarly, yoga looks at the human system and tries to deliver all these things from the human system. In the previous parts, we already saw that slow or deep breathing leads to more efficiency, more breathing efficiency, less muscular stress, less oxidative stress, and less toxic buildup within our system. However, it is astonishing to note that in the webinar, most of the participants were breathing at a rate which is average or above average breathing rate of humans. However, as we have ascertained through our lectures and in the past videos, that we need to breathe slowly and more slowly, and there are only a few who are actually doing that. We also looked into the breathing from an automobile engineer's perspective by comparing the lungs to the engine of the automobile, and there also we discovered the fact that we need to breathe slow, because slower breathing will give us healthier lungs and longer lifespan and have better breathing efficiency. And if we breathe faster, it will cause damage to our engine, as it causes damage, as faster operations causes damage to the automobile engine. From a signals and systems perspective also, we saw deep breathing and shallow breathing, and we established very clearly that shallow breathing never allows our outputs to settle down. We always remain in the state of indecision, in anxiety, and our outputs remain fluctuating. Whereas when we do deep breathing, then we are able to settle down at a steady state, so our outputs, whatever we are trying to deliver, are able to be delivered at the expected level. All these ideas point to one simple fact, that we need to develop deep breathing. And we also learned that diaphragmatic breathing causes this deep breathing to happen naturally in our system. So through diaphragmatic breathing, we are able to make our breathing slow and deep. We also saw how to practice diaphragmatic breathing in the past video, and if we give a conscious effort to just reset our breathing to this diaphragmatic mode of breathing, then we will be able to achieve a lot from the system, from this human system that we are living in. So our own output deliverables would be much better. We would be able to have an enhanced sense of living. Coming to yoga, we all know that there is a large section of yogic exercises which concentrate or focus on our breathing. So it tries to get a handle on the input, which is breath, in order to get a handle in the various human outputs. The outputs of body, the outputs of senses, emotions, intellect, thoughts, etc. Yoga has clearly identified breath as a major input to the system, because common sense, we live because we breathe. So it has, technically speaking, it has identified breath as a system input and try to work with it. So it tries to work with that system input in order to regulate the system outputs. Yoga is nothing but systems engineering, at least to my point of view. And I would say it's not trying to control the outputs, but trying to stabilize or regulate them through the regulation of breath. This also gives a machine or instrument perspective of human being, because in the machine also you have some input to the machine and it delivers some work. Here also it is like that. Now the most important fact in yoga is that diaphragmatic breathing or abdominal breathing is fundamental to all yogic exercises. This is the very first thing that one learns when one goes into yoga, that is to the practice of diaphragmatic breathing. Without this fundamental set, you will not be able to do many other yogic exercises that you learn. Maybe you can do that, but still it is my own experience that those exercises do not give much result unless we are practicing diaphragmatic breathing as our regular breathing habit. Regular breathing habit means the way we breathe throughout our day. We have to reset that breathing to diaphragmatic breathing. Only on top of that can the various yogic exercises yield their results. Of course, yoga deals with a lot of other different inputs to the human system and tries to have a handle over those inputs in order to regulate the human outputs. So all in all, yoga is nothing but systems engineering. We all know that yoga as a treatise comes under the purview of what we know as Sanatan Dharma. So yoga is a part of the Sanatan Dharma teachings and philosophies. What does Sanatan Dharma mean? The basic idea of Sanatan Dharma gets revealed in its name itself. If we try to understand the meaning of Sanatan Dharma, it means nothing but eternal nature. Sanatan means eternal, Dharma means nature. So Sanatan Dharma is anything, a Sanatan Dharma has to do with anything that reveals our eternal nature. What is eternal nature? Not just our eternal nature, but eternal nature of anything. So what we mean by eternal nature? Whenever something does not change, or whenever there is less transiency and more steady state, then we can say that it is constant, it is eternal. So whatever gives constancy and reduces transiency is something which is which introduces or which reveals the eternal nature of that particular thing. As we saw, that diaphragmatic breathing also achieves this. It gives constancy and reduces the transiency in our own human experience, because by diaphragmatic breathing we are able to regulate our outputs, we are able to make the outputs come to a steady state, have them less fluctuating in nature. So it is giving constancy and reducing the transiency in our own system outputs. So it is revealing as such or bringing out in some way the eternal nature of our outputs. And in that light, we can call the diaphragmatic breathing as the natural way to breathe. Because what is natural is something that is not changing. That is what Sanatan Dharma is saying. What is natural within you is also eternal, and that is the eternal nature. And the entire philosophical aspect of Sanatan Dharma tries to reveal that eternal nature within us. Layer by layer, deeper and deeper, it tries to reveal that eternal nature. However, not going into that, we can here simply state that diaphragmatic breathing reveals that eternal nature, and hence it is the natural way to breathe. Even not going into Sanatan Dharma and all, if you simply notice how different animals are breathing, how human kids are breathing, the babies, the kids which have not grown so much, you will notice that they are also breathing through their abdomen. They are practicing diaphragmatic breathing naturally. No one has taught them to breathe through the diaphragm. We as adults need to be taught to go back to diaphragmatic breathing. But naturally, even before anyone had taught us anything about breathing, we used to breathe naturally. You can observe that. Observe your own kid or your neighbor's kid. Observe the animals around you. They are all doing diaphragmatic breathing. So why not you? By the practice of diaphragmatic breathing, we got to understand through this series of lectures that we have the secret key to our own enhanced living. So now is the time to use that key and start living an enhanced life. The key takeaways from this lecture would be that slow and deep breathing is efficient and healthy. Diaphragmatic breathing leads to this slow breathing, and as we have seen that yoga is nothing but systems engineering, and diaphragmatic breathing is fundamental aspect to yoga. You should first learn diaphragmatic breathing, reset your breathing to diaphragmatic breathing, and then practice any yogic exercise that you wish to practice. Yoga does a lot of wonderful things to us, but before even that, we need to set our breathing to diaphragmatic breathing. That is the most important takeaway I should highlight here in this lecture. So this is what you should first go ahead and practice, diaphragmatic breathing. We also revealed that diaphragmatic breathing is in alignment with the basic ideology of Sanatan Dharma. So if you have learned anything new in this video, please apply that in your life, because utilization of our knowledge to improve our living is what is called wisdom. Be safe and be wise.
If you have any queries, please post them in the comment box below. We'll be glad to take up the questions in our future videos. If you are interested in attending live webinar sessions on discussions related to ancient Indian philosophies and their practicality in modern day lives, with which we'll be starting shortly, do not forget to register yourself in the registration link given in the description box. Please note that we are accepting registrations till 20th May only. If you like this video, hit the like button and do not forget to subscribe and share.